Alternative approaches are those that differ from the traditional. They can consist of meditation, spirituality, music, nature, drawing, painting, or even choosing to stand up and speak when no one else would for the right thing. This is not to say that living alternatively is easy, because as humans, our instinct is to conform. Nevertheless, it can be very, very fulfilling. When I first entered this course, I was ready to treat it like any other course. Come in, sit down, take notes, and leave without any real interactions with anybody, or shallow ones at best. With that kind of approach, I was not setting myself up for a very enriching academic or social experience. As the course progressed, I found it difficult to understand what exactly an alternative approach was. My original idea was that it was anything slightly different from traditional intervention, but still fell somewhere within the framework. For example, pet therapy or meditation both differ from regular counseling, but still therapeutic. When we saw the video of Oroville and other eco-villages, I was thrown off. I did not understand how that could possibly fall into social work, because it was much too far off to even be considered social intervention at all. How could this help someone deal with relational issues, anxiety, depression, or anorexia? As weeks went by, we had our group presentations on organizations, resources, or people in social work. With these additional examples of alternative approaches, I believed I was beginning to grasp the concept of alternative intervention. When my group presented Habitat for Humanity, a number of classmates expressed confusion as to how the organization was alternative. Even the professor asked if it was really alternative. The entire time, I took it for granted that it was indeed an alternative approach, mostly because the professor put it on his list of alternative resources. That was the moment I started to make my own analysis. Was it alternative? How? Why? To what extent? It suddenly occurred to me that every method of social interventions fall on some kind of a spectrum between alternative and traditional. Oroville was an example of a more extreme alternative. Habitat for Humanity was more subtle in terms of alternativity. Pet therapy, music therapy, things like that, they too fall somewhere in the middle. Alternative or not, the work being done can still be very beneficial. For example, Mother Teresa, who did more charity work and religious work, did not do so much of alternatives, but still did so much for many people. What really matters is that the people stopped accepting the unacceptable and expecting someone else to speak up and make the necessary steps to social progression. Had Gandhi accepted the unacceptable, he would not have inspired MLK to fight for black rights or Mandela to fight against apartheid. This in itself constitutes of an alternative.